Good to be here, guys. Listen, yeah, we're going to talk about my story briefly, but we want to get into your story, which is everybody's story. And that's what we're going to do today. When I said create and unleash your unique, authentic leader, many of you creatives, I was a creative, still am, but I spent 20 plus years as a creative director, a graphic designer, said documentary filmmaker, a lot of visual stuff. And then got into journalism and writing and spent almost 10 years traveling around the world doing crazy stuff as a journalist. I wrote for Discovery Channel, Men's Health, Men's Fitness, a lot of men's magazines, and a lot of those kind of publications. Now I do this. And what we're going to do today, so I have an intention today. My intention today is that by the time you're here, you are going to have created your own unique, authentic leader. I've done this with audiences everywhere, hundreds and hundreds of people. Normally I get brought into companies and they ask me to talk about leadership, and I do. But they want me to tell you how to be as a leader. And that never works. So don't let anybody tell you how to be a leader. You're going to create your authentic leader. And out of doing this with hundreds and hundreds of people, no two have ever been alike. So you're going to do your unique one today. And we gave you some paper, just pencils up here, pens. Play along today because we're going to have some fun. I like to do this interactive. I don't like to just stand up here and talk at you for a half hour. But I want you guys to play along. So we don't have a whole lot of time. Strap in. I'm going to go fast. And if you have any questions or anything, we can do that at the end. But if we're doing it during the exercise, just let me know. We'll get you moving. You guys on for that? Everybody good? Good, good, good? So quick icebreaker before we get going into the good stuff. I have a question for you, and you can write this down on your pad. I want you to do this. Why is it not going, guy? All right, we got it? All right, cool. Who is your favorite superhero? Now, it could be a superhero, it could be a fictional character, science fiction, Lord of the Rings, The Matrix, mythology, anything. Write down your favorite superhero, hero in mythology, hero in fiction, science fiction, anything. But it needs to be a fictional character. I know we all love Dad. Dad's our hero. Grandma was your hero. I get it. Not going to work for this. So I want you to write down, who is your superhero? Who have you always been a fan of? Who do you watch more than anything? Who resonates with you? And then write down 2 or 3 reasons why you love that character. Why do you love that character? So mine's Batman. Mine has always been Batman since I'm a kid. Love Batman. Part of the reason I love Batman is he's got the coolest toys. He is known as the world's greatest detective. So not only does he have the physical strength, but he has the intellect as well, and he uses that too. He's got the coolest toys, and he has a sense of justice. If something's going to get done, he's going to do it. And he doesn't have superpowers like everyone else he surrounds himself with. So things like that. Write down who your favorite superhero is and a couple of reasons why you love them. Anybody want to share their superhero? Tell us who their favorite one is. Anyone brave, bold enough to share?
Underdog.
Say it again?
Underdog.
Underdog. Why underdog? Because he's underdog, right? So he's got to do what?
He's got to overcome perceptions of him being not capable.
There you go. Beautiful. I love that. Anyone else got one they want to share? Go. Awesome. Leonardo from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Why Leonardo?
He wears blue, he's a leader, he's calm, and he's named after an artist.
All right, love that. Love that. Anyone else want to share? Quick. Yeah, go ahead.
Deadpool.
I did not think you were going to say Deadpool. That's awesome. Why Deadpool? He's funny.
Deadpan sense of humor.
Right. Yeah, and he's kind of irreverent, right? Very cool. Very, very cool. Evan, you got one? Gambit, right. Not a lot of people know Gambit. So I know Gambit because they were supposed to come out with a movie about him. But
many times.
Yeah, so why Gambit?
He was kind of underdog, underknown. I played poker growing up. He was a poker player. And he was just kind of like a hidden superhero on the team.
Right, exactly. Not many people knew him. I love that. It's beautiful. That's the first time I've heard Gambit. Anyone else before we move forward and I tell you why we did this? Anyone else want to share? Cool. So I have a mentor that I've been working with for about 10 years. And he has a mentor he's been working with over 20 years. And that mentor, kind of my grand mentor, has a saying. He says, tell me who your superhero is, and I will tell you who you are. So look at the stuff you wrote down about that hero, and does that resonate with you? Does that say who you are? And I would say, I've done this, like I said, hundreds of times. 99% of the time, the answer is yes. Or it's things we think we want to see in ourselves, but we don't. They're actually there, or it wouldn't resonate with you. So looking at who your superhero is really kind of tells who you are, but it also tells who other people are. So it's just kind of an aside to this. We're all creatives in this room, but we do need to be leaders. We may run teams. We may run clients, right? We work with different people. I have used this question in interviews, job interviews for candidates. Because when you ask somebody, hey, tell me a little bit about yourself, they're going to tell you the things they think you want to hear or they should say. But when you kind of give them one of these questions and they tell you, give you an example. I did this with one of my clients up in New York. She's in digital advertising, and she's got a big team, and she did this. I did this with her, and then she did it with her team at an all-hands meeting. And one of the quietest, mousiest women on the team, young, like in her early 20s, they went around and said who their superhero was, and hers was Catwoman. And they said, why Catwoman? And she said, because she's super quiet, super powerful. Nobody ever knows she's there, but she gets shit done. Right? And I said, she's like, at that moment, she's like, I want her on every project. Right? Because she will work in the background with whoever's there and make sure stuff gets done. So feel into that, who is your superhero? It's going to lead into what we're doing today. All right? As we get going through this on story and why they're so important to us, why we tell them visually, why we tell them written. But this is really the story of who you are as a leader. So, I'm going to tell you a story. And this is a story of a young man. Now, he's a young man who's living with family. His parents are gone. He's living with family who really don't want him. And one day he's approached by a stranger, a magical stranger, who tells him he is destined for great things. He doesn't believe it, but ends up going with this mentor, this magical mentor. And he faces these challenges, and he fails over and over. And his disbelief in himself becomes stronger and stronger. But the mentor believes in him, pushes him forward, pushes him through the challenges. Finally, he finds his purpose, starts to believe in himself, finds his heart, finds his passion. And he's able to defeat the villain, challenge, overcome, becomes the great one, returns home as the hero. What story is that? Anyone have a guess?
Batman.
Batman? Okay. Anyone else? There's some answers I always get. There's two that always get shouted out. Who does that sound like? Oh, you guys are quiet today.
Superman?
Superman? Could be.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter is one of the two that I always get. What's the other one? Luke Skywalker and Star Wars. So Star Wars and Harry Potter are the big ones. It's also The Lion King. It's The Matrix. It's Hercules. It's Jason and the Argonauts. It is every story ever told. In fact, there's a comedian who's got a great routine where he says J.K. Rowling didn't write Harry Potter. She just rewrote Star Wars. And when you look at it, you got Harry and Luke, lightsabers and wands, Darth Vader, Voldemort. You got Dumbledore, Yoda, both teachers. You got Harry and Hermione, not Harry, Ron and Hermione. And you got Han Solo and Princess Leia. Same story. Now, someone said hero's journey. This man right here, Joseph Campbell. Brilliant, brilliant genius of a man. He is the one who coined the phrase, the hero's journey. He wrote a couple of really phenomenal books that I recommend. One is called The Power of Myth, and the other is called The Hero with 1,000 Faces. Why did he title his book The Hero with 1,000 Faces? Because as he studied every myth, every legend, every story told for millennia, they all followed this. Right? Call to adventure. They got the supernatural aid, right? Magic, which we see in all these stories. There's some form of magic. Lord of the Rings, all of them. Goes into the unknown. This is known as the descent. He comes down, begins the transformation, has the help, faces the challenges and temptations, goes into the abyss when he finally feels he cannot go any further. Has that transformation, finds, and it's not on this particular one, but the gift of the goddess is usually here. Defeats what he has to defeat. Oh, there's a gift of the goddess up there. And then the return. Home as the hero. Why are so many stories told this way? Well, it's what we love. I call it the software of our soul. We have heard stories over and over and over, our own personal stories, movies, myths, legends, all these things that we love. That structure hits us. So, if that's the structure that hits us so well, how can we use this in everything? In design and creativity and stories that we tell. And that's what we're going to do here today. So in my work, I've got what we call the 4 foundational archetypes. The warrior, the lover, the king and queen, and the hero. And it follows Campbell's hero's journey. The warrior is the part of us that has that drive, that ambition, moves us forward, decision making. Overcoming challenge. The lover, that's our heart side. That is everything that makes life so juicy and delicious. Right? Things like creativity, wisdom, compassion, willingness, gratitude, which we just did a little bit of before this. Gratitude, generosity. All of those things come from our heart. Now, we need both sides. And as you see in every story, the hero has to show both sides. Warrior and lover. And we all have this in all of us. And when you can integrate your warrior and your lover, live with both, that's when you are operating from the king-queen archetype. That's when you are running your kingdom. And we'll get into hero in a minute. But what we're going to do now is we're going to go through the first 3 archetypes. Because we're going to take you from here to here, get you here. This is your unique powerful, powerful leader that you are already. And we're going to unleash that leader here today. So, warrior, lover. They're 2 opposite sides. You guys have seen the yin-yang? Think of it that way. We have both in harmony. Now, the key thing is, in each of these first 2, there is limiting and empowering. And we're going to see those here in a second. So, this is the limiting side of the warrior. Take a look at this list. Controlling, violent, abusive, overpowering, inconsiderate, frustrated, destructive, degrading, weak, murderous, a coward, macho, false bravado. That's a big one, especially for men. Puffing up, trying to pretend you're something you're not. Annoying, perverted, dishonest, overbearing, immature. Anyone feel any of these at any time in your life? You had been any of these things? Yeah, right. Me too. Like, this was a big one for me. Macho, false bravado. Coward was big for me. Frustrated, big. Right? Show off was a big one for me. So look at these. Nothing wrong, but this is the limiting side of us. When we recognize that, we can move past that into the empowering. So this is what makes our warrior so amazing. Heroic, courageous, a maverick, someone that goes their own way. Powerful, commanding. Visionary, sovereign, meaning there is no authority above you. You make your decisions for yourself. A leader, bold, dynamic, decisive is a big one. Guardian, determined, committed, the will to move forward no matter what's going on. Ambitious, charismatic, conqueror, resilient, all of these up here. You guys feel those? So here's what I want you to do right now. You got paper and a pencil and a pen. I want you to look at this list. I want you to I'm going to give you a minute or 2. I want you to feel which ones of these words mean the most to you. Figure about 6, 7, 8 words that really hit you. There's no wrong answer here. And you're not trying to impress anybody. I mean, all of these words are impressive, right? So anything you pick is going to be fantastic. But it is the ones that speak to you personally. Take a minute and really feel them. You'll know when it hits you. You guys getting some good ones? Some of these words really hitting you, feeling them? Yeah, we don't take time that much to really feel into our warrior, do we? Especially creatives, because we're spending most of our time on the other side. But these are the things that are going to help you in many areas of your life. Good? We got a few? Fantastic. Here's what we're going to do with this. You're going to take those few words that you wrote down, and you're going to create your own personal warrior statement, who you are as a warrior. And it's going to start with the words, I am. And here's an example. This is a long one. Doesn't have to be that long. Just wanted to give you an example. I am a bold, decisive, courageous leader. Those are all warrior traits. Guardian of my family and business. I conquer all challenges and obstacles that I face. I am always victorious. Now, yours might just be 3 words. I've seen people write a warrior statement that just says, I am courageous. Beautiful. I've seen some that are this long because you want to get those words in there. Take those words you wrote down and write your personal warrior statement. Take a minute and do this. This is going to benefit you at the end of this today. I am a. And then whatever those warrior traits that you felt and felt the strongest to you, pop them into a statement.
Can we go back to the slide, please?
There you go. I am. We'll start that off and then weave a sentence or two that describes you.
Can you go to the other one again?
Sure. Not a problem. A little inspiration. We'll give you a little inspiration. But feel this. Doesn't have to be complicated. I've seen them that were just that first line up there, that's perfectly okay. I'm a bold, decisive, courageous leader.
The one you make up yourself? That would be...
Yeah, whatever you want. Just, if you had like 6 or 7, like that's 4, 5, 6, 7. Some people want to, add another sentence so they can get them all in there. Some people just want to do one. It's up to you. It's your personal warrior statement. I am. Why do I tell you to use I am? Why is that important?
To embody?
What's that?
To embody these traits?
Right, and embody them when? Later, like I want to be or I'm going to be? Now. This is your warrior statement now. That's why it's important. Anyone bold, courageous enough? They want to share theirs? Yeah, go ahead, please.
I am a charismatic, visionary, and inspiring leader.
There you go. Beautiful. Love that. Anyone else? That's great. Oh, Evan, you just raised your hand. Let me hear yours.
Very similar to her. I am a bold, visionary leader that ambitiously, with resilience, has self-created my purposeful life. By doing this, I am becoming a champion.
Good. Take out the word becoming. By doing this, I am a champion. Right? Does that feel stronger? Becoming is like it's out there somewhere. Right, guys? I am champion. Beautiful. One more. Anybody else want to share? Yeah, go ahead. Love it.
I am brave, committed, ambitious, resilient, decisive, and charismatic.
Wonderful. Beautiful. You feel that? You guys that wrote these, do you feel that here? Right? Not here. This is not about thinking it through. This is about feeling it for you. We had 3 people go. They were very different, right? Because we're all very different warriors. We all have that warrior in us. This will help you tap into that more. This is who you are. Awesome. So now, we did warrior. What's next? What's the second? Anyone remember? Archetype. Lover. So, just like with the warrior, lover has empowering and limiting. This list is everybody's favorite list. I don't know why. Everybody loves to read this one and crack up. But this is our limiting lover. Needy, whiny, withholding, helpless, hysterical, manipulative, demanding, scheming, jealous, withdrawn, confused, moody, irrational, gossipy, materialistic, self-centered, dependent, reactive, dramatic, attention whore, resentful, bitter, critical, pitiful. You guys feel those? Feel how, that is, right? I think I've dated everyone on this list, by the way. But look at it where we have it in ourselves, right? If I was looking at this, for me, attention whore was a big one for me for a long time. I mean, it had to be. I'm up here. Right? If it wasn't, I wouldn't be up in the front of the room. But I learned to empower that attention whore of mine and do it for purpose. Right? Self-centered. Materialistic was big for me. Moody was big. Insecure was a big one. So look at some of these that we have. All of us have these. And again, not bad, not wrong. Just recognizing when we're in, man, I'm in my limiting lover. I'm being needy. I'm being whiny. Not powerful. Shift that to the warrior side. Now, what's on the empowering side? Look at these. When I first started doing this work and I heard warrior, lover, now I was raised, part of my story, and it's in my book, I was raised, only two ways you can be raised or live. A culture of fear or a culture of courage. I was raised in a culture of fear. Everything was going to kill me. Everything was going to hurt me. I was a victim. I was going to get sick. I was going to get, whatever it was. That's how mom raised me. Be afraid of everything. I fought my way out of that over to my warrior side. So when I heard this, I said, I don't want to, lover sounds weak. It sounds, This is all the stuff that makes life so juicy and delicious. Look at this list. Wise, wisdom is a lover trait. Supportive, empathetic. Generous, divine, graceful, devoted, allowing, inspiring, sensual, loving, compassionate. Passion is on the warrior side. That's that fire and drive. Compassion is its counterpart on this side, right? Abundant, creative, patient, trusting, captivating, intuitive, artistic, mysterious, majestic, irresistible. One of my favorite ones here, devastating. Nourishing. We have willing. We had will on the warrior side. Willing is its counterpart. Will is driving forward. Willing is allowing. Okay?
Devastating is a good thing?
Yeah. Feel it this way. Devastating is it's so beautiful, so amazing, so delicious, it just knocks people out. Devastating. On the positive side. Now you'll notice some of these have a negative counterpart. Like aggressive could be a positive warrior trait when it's used to get you forward. Could also be a limiting trait when you use it against other people. Right? Ego is the same way. You could have a great, like if I didn't have a big ego, I wouldn't be standing here today. But I'm doing it out of purpose because I would love to, share this with you guys. If I was doing it just because I wanted to be up here, you guys would feel that and there wouldn't be any value here. So there are some things that can do that. Devastating is one of them. And it's one, like I said, it's one of my favorites. I love it. It's just such a great feel. So do the same thing. Write down the 4, 5, 6, 7 of these that really feel powerful to you. And again, no wrong answer. This is all you. Just the few that really hit you. Read them. Feel them. No right or wrong answer. Don't think your way through them. Don't think the ones you should. The word should be outlawed. Don't think of the one you should. Don't think of the one you're supposed to put. Put the ones that really strike you the most. That are the most powerful to you. Getting some good ones? We'll keep it up there for a minute. This is one of my favorite lists. I mean, both of them, but the empowering warrior, the empowering lover, so powerful. You guys feeling these? Getting some good stuff? So what do you think's the next step? And I'm going to go over, I'll go back and forth. Lover statement. And it's going to start with I am. So look, I am wise, generous, and trusting. I inspire those around me, creating abundance for myself and others. That feel weak in any way? Does that feel less than in any way? No, lover's powerful. Like I said, the warrior is the one that gets stuff done, but the lover is the one that comes in behind it and makes it amazing. So write your lover statement. Who are you as a lover? Use the words that hit you. Oh, go back, yeah. There's the words again. I am. Remember, that's the important thing. Why I am? Now. It's who you are now. Not I am becoming, not I am going to be. I want. See, want is interesting. I want to be. Feel how that's limiting, whereas the empowered warrior would be I am. That's why we do this. So there's the words. There's the example sentence. Take a minute, write yours out. I'll go back again. There's the list. Everybody got something? You need a minute? Okay. And remember, guys, this is a living document. This is not like you wrote it here today and it's written in stone. You can never change it again. You know, if anyone wants the list of these words or, copies of this stuff, let me know. I'll get them to you. And it'll evolve organically because you evolve organically, right? You're not the same person you were when you sat in this chair an hour ago. You guys feel that? So, lover statement. Who wants to share one? I want to hear some. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm supportive, empathetic, and sustaining.
Beautiful. That's it. That's all you need, right? How's that feel? Feels right, doesn't it? Right, because you're locked down solid on it because you did it from here, not from here. This is your enemy, right? All you guys that are creatives, you create from where? Here. This is where all this beautiful artwork we're standing among came from, right? Beautiful. Anyone else? Share. Go.
I am wise, nurturing, and compassionate lover. I create abundance for myself and others, patiently and lovingly.
Beautiful. You guys hear that? No, a little louder. That was good. A little louder. They want to hear it.
I am wise, nurturing, and compassionate lover. I create abundance for myself and others, patiently and lovingly.
Right? Feel that. That feel right to you. It's who you are. Beautiful. One more. Anyone want to share? Evan? You invited me here, so you get picked on today.
I am an empathetic, supportive, majestic human being and leader. I empower those around me to intuitively tap into their hidden potential to live their best life.
Wow. Fantastic. I love this. I get like the little dashboard doggy heads when people read these. The little, oh yeah, oh yeah. And then people will write down, oh, I like that line. I want to take that on. Beautiful. Do that. If it hits you, use it. It's yours, right? And feel what's going on in the room as we do this. As people are reading these, it's like, oh, right? Isn't it amazing to get to know other people in this room on a level that's way different than, hi, I'm Bob, and I'm a whatever, whatever. It's why the superhero question works. It's why this works, right? So everyone in the room knows who you are now. So what's the next step? At the beginning, I said we have the warrior, we have the lover. Our hero's journey, we go through those, and we end up where? King and queen. So here's what we're going to do next. You're going to take your warrior statement and your lover statement, because I said the king and the queen is the integration of the two of those. And you're going to write a king or queen statement. Now, this one is absurdly long, because again, I wanted to give you an example, but notice what I did. It is an intertwining of those two statements, not one than the other. We always, always, always start with a warrior trait. Why do we start with a warrior trait? Why does our warrior lead? Anyone?
Strength.
Yeah, strength, sure. Strength, boldness, courage, all those things have to happen before the beauty comes in. It happens in nature, it happens in stories, it happens everywhere. Think about a butterfly. It's in a cocoon. It has to break its way out of that cocoon before it becomes a butterfly. If you open the cocoon and let the butterfly out, it dies, because it hasn't built the strength up yet to be that butterfly, right? An oak tree that's in an acorn has to break out of that acorn. Warrior first before it becomes that beautiful oak tree. So we lead with our warrior also, always. Warrior is what drives us forward. Lover comes in behind and makes it beautiful. So I am a bold. Once you have that one warrior, you can go to a lover. Bold, decisive, which are both warrior. Compassionate, lover. Leader. Devoted, which is lover. Guardian, my family and business. Wise, generous, trusting, inspiring, and abundance. All of that is lover. Courageously conquer. all challenges and victorious, back to warrior. So as long as you have one warrior trait at the beginning, I am a warrior statement, then you can do whatever you want after that. It does not have to be this long. That very first sentence is plenty for a king or queen statement. So run that one through. Take a moment. Combine your two, where you had your words, and write your king or queen statement of who you are. I am a. One sentence, 2, 3. Again, no wrong answer. It's whatever you're feeling right now in this moment. You guys are awesome, by the way. You're really like getting it. I'm watching everybody's writing, everybody's engaging. It's beautiful. The more you do that, the more you come from here, the more you'll get out of this. So your own personal king or queen statement, weaving your warrior and lover together. I am. Give you another minute, because we're paying Mike by the foot here on his videoing. All right, anyone have one they want to share? King, queen statement they would like to share. You guys are still writing, maybe. Give you another minute. And again, same thing. This is a living document. This is who you are as a king or a queen today. You can massage this, change it, add to it, put stuff together. Feel this. You can do this for yourself. Do this for your relationship, if you're in a relationship. I have one in my relationship. My girlfriend Dawn and I wrote a statement like this for ourselves as a couple. I've done them with businesses to do it for your team, for your business as a whole, for a project that you're working on. You can write what you're feeling in that moment for that. As a parent, you can do it with your family. All right, how we doing? Anyone want to share one? Because I don't want to take up too much. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm a charismatic...
Well, louder.
Sure. I'm a charismatic and commanding leader, a guardian of humanity while flowing with the divine and staying purposeful and intuitive.
Beautiful. How does that feel? Feels good. Feels who you are, right? That is your king. That is you as a leader. Now imagine using that in your business, in your family, right? And being that man for them, right? For your kingdom, your personal kingdom. Beautiful. Anyone else want to share? I know some of you are still writing, but we got to move forward a little bit. And you can finish them up later. Anyone else want to share? Yeah, please.
I'm a bold and commanding and nurturing leader.
Mm-hmm.
I wisely and creatively lead my team and daughters to successfully face any challenges.
Wow. How does that feel? Yeah, that's powerful, isn't it? That's a queen I would follow, right? Fantastic. Anyone else? We'll do one more. Let's hear it. Louder.
I am a powerful, wise, and committed leader, purposeful and compassionate in my life and business, nurturing people fearlessly to be abundant and resilient.
Wow. Again, beautiful. These are great. These are great. And again, you guys can, like I said, you can massage them and add to them. Now feel this. That's who you are as a king or queen. That's who you are as a leader. We all heard warrior statements, lover statements, king, queen statements today. Any of them the same? Any of them less powerful than any other? No. All equally powerful, all unique, all authentic to who you are. See, in this world, I can say, wow, man, that was a beautiful statement. I can respect you as a king, right? I'm a king. I see you as a king, queen. Beautiful. I can absolutely respect that and follow that. We don't have to try to, tear each other down to become king or queen over that person. Do you guys feel that? We can see that in everybody else, right? We did a little Zen thing before I came up. Feel the term namaste. right? People that do yoga and stuff, they say namaste. But the origin of namaste, essentially, depending on the translation, is the God in me sees the God in you. So the king in me sees the king and queen in you. If we all live that way, wow, man, I'm a king, you're a king, I'm a king, you're a queen. Whatever it is, can you guys feel the power in all that? How we can move forward? Beautiful. So that is your king, your queen statement. What I would say to you is this. Write it down, get it where you like it, pop it up on, above your computer at work, pop it up on your mirror when you're getting ready. Look at that every day, because this is your North Star. This is your guiding light. When the crap hits the fan and stuff's getting tough, and you're not feeling strong, and you're not feeling powerful, you're not feeling like a leader, go back and read this. Because you created this in a moment of clarity, from feeling, from purpose, from vision. That's truly who you are, not the one running around because you got a bad email and it took you in your head and now you're feeling, ugh, or your team is not performing, or whatever it is. This gets you back on track. This is truly who you are. Even if you don't feel it enough yet, stay on this, lock down on this, because this truly is who you are. Trust me. I've seen it 1,000 times. All right? So now, what do we do with this? Now we're at the king and queen. What's the next archetype as we wrap this up? Hero. So if I'm the king or the queen and I'm running my kingdom or queendom, how do I elevate to hero? Well, it's very simple. The way to elevate to hero is to create kings and queens around you. How do we do that? How do we become heroes? I got ahead of myself. Create kings and queens, right? So, how do we do that? This is a great quote, one of my favorite quotes. Knowledge comes from learning. Wisdom comes from living. Knowledge comes from here. Wisdom comes from here. Anthony Douglas Williams. And this other guy has this quote. Wisdom is simply deepening your knowledge through experience. You guys all have experience in something. What I call our big, beautiful battle scars, right? Anybody ever screw up so bad, like it's so embarrassing, you never told anybody, and it's shameful, and you keep it hidden, and it's awful, and it's horrible, and whole crap, I hope nobody ever finds out. Anybody ever have one of those moments in their life? Raise your hand if you had one of those moments in your life.
Week or less.
Yeah, right, exactly, right. It's funny, I have a whole separate talk that I do about this, and I used to have people, if they had that, I go, raise your hand. I go, okay, now we're all going to stand up and share ours. And everybody goes white. It's a beautiful moment. But I do have people share them. Why? Because your wisdom, your experience moves people forward. We've all been to that motivational talk where somebody stands up here and shares, how horrible their childhood was, or they lost all their money and they battled it back. We love those stories, right? I love those stories. It's just like the hero's journey. We have to hit that bottom, the abyss, to come back out. So we have those. I did this for a group down in Texas, a business group, 150 people, and I asked them if anybody wanted to share theirs. And a woman stood up who knew a lot of people in the group, an attorney. She said, I've never told anybody this before in my life, ever. But when I was 16 years old, something happened that wasn't a big deal, but she took it on as a big deal and she tried to kill herself. She never, ever, ever told anybody else this story. She'd held on to it for 30 some odd years. And she was, getting very emotional, obviously, while she was telling it, but the audience, other people were getting emotional as well. And then 3 or 4 other people raised their hands and said, I tried to kill myself too. And I never told a soul. And all of a sudden, the whole room lit up. Like everybody got lighter because all this heaviness, holding on to that, lifted. And she got people coming up to her afterwards, thanking her for being so courageous and honest, thanking her for sharing her story. It's just her wisdom. She'd been through something. We've all been through something. You hang on to that, you hold on to that battle scar, doesn't do anybody any good. Share your wisdom from strength, right? From that king and queen, you can share the stuff that's happened to you. and help people that are on the path. And this is probably the most important thing I will say, advice versus wisdom. People ask me all the time, Eric, can I get some advice? Can I take you to lunch, get some advice from you? I'm like, no. I don't share advice. I don't give advice. I share wisdom. If you want to ask me anything about my story, I'm an open book. I will tell you anything. We have something in the work that I do, besides the 4 foundational archetypes, we call them the sacred 7 core values. It's what we live by. And they are courage, honesty, integrity, commitment, duty, honor, and love. And I try to live all 7 every day. That's my intention. But the first 3 are the most important. Have the courage to be ruthlessly honest with yourself, and then you can be honest with others. When you do that, you live in integrity. So, if you ask me anything about whatever, I will give you the wisdom from my experience, good and bad, my screw-ups as well as my victories. In my world, there's no wins and losses. It's only wins and learns. Wins and learn. What did I learn from this experience? It was horrible. It crushed me. I got through it. What did I learn? I will give you that. Advice comes from here. Wisdom comes from here. Share your wisdom with those around you. Advice always starts with should. Like if I said to you, Evan, hey, you know what you should do for these talks? You should do this, and you should have something over here, and you should do this. How does that feel when I talk to you that way? Now, you're like, who the f*** are you, right? Defenses go up. But if I say to you, hey, Evan, listen, you know, I used to run talks like this, and I made every mistake in the book. Let me tell you one of the funnier ones. I did this thing, and this thing happened. Here's what I did about it. Here's the result I got. Now, can you use that? Because now I'm not telling you what you should do. I'm just telling you what I did, and then you can take it from there. So share your wisdom, guys. From king, from queen. Be that leader. Don't keep secrets from your team. That'll help them become kings and queens on their own. If you guys want to run this exercise with them, warrior statement, lover statement, king, queen statement, like I said, talk to Evan. He'll give you my information, or you can get me directly if we meet after, and I'll send you the lists. And you can run it through with your team and your people. That will create kings and queens around you. And finally, the last thing we're going to do today. The 4 questions. This is something my mentor came up with. And it is brilliant, genius stuff. I ask myself these questions every day. You don't have to write your answers down. But if you want to write the questions down, you can. You'll remember them, trust me. Question number 1 is, what kind of person do you want to be? What kind of person do you want to be? I'll give you a hint. That king or queen statement you just wrote is probably a big part of it. Right? You want to be bold and creative and wise and trusting and generous and whatever it is. What kind of person do you want to be? And second, what kind of people do you want around you? The answers to 1 and 2 may be similar. But people you want around you, do you want them to be cooperative, generous, leaders, driven, ambitious, loving, compassionate? What kind of people do you want around you? 3, what kind of world do you want to live in? What kind of world do you want to live in? You want to live in a world where people are at one with nature. Nature thrives. There's plenty of food for everyone. We're all at peace. Everyone cooperates and works together. We have plenty of resources to go around. What kind of world do you want to live in? Everyone is free to be who they are. Right? All those kind of things. What kind of world you want to live in? And then, this is the one, everybody. What are you doing to make that a reality? You just wrote down who you were as a king or a queen. How is your king or queen going to become the hero? And make this a reality. Because it is up to you. It's up to all of us. Take on that leadership role. Because you could look at this a million ways, these 4 questions, and you can look at it this way. What kind of leader do you want to be? What kind of leaders do you want around you? What kind of business, organization, family do you want to be a part of? And what are you doing to make those a reality? You guys feel that? As your king, as your queen, you become the hero. Number 4 is your legacy. It is, how are you going to be remembered? What impact are you going to make? How does your story live on forever? Okay? Guys, thank you very much. I really appreciate you guys playing along. That's it. You guys are looking at me like, any questions on anything that we did at all? No? Good. I guess we don't have no questions. They got it all. My latest book just came out 2 weeks ago. Lions Raised as Lambs is the title of it. So I mentioned a little earlier that there's only 2 ways to be raised or live: culture of fear, culture of courage. Well, I was raised in a culture of fear, like I said. My mentor was raised in a culture of courage. He was raised on cattle ranches by cowboys and cattlemen. Then he went into the Marines and fought as a combat Marine. 2 very different upbringings. He mentored me over here to the culture of courage. So that book is our journey. It is my story. I am the lion that was raised like a lamb by a mama who was very much a sheep, until I met good men who moved me on the path to king. So the story, the book is told, my story in the beginning, my personal story, my actual story, and then the big meat of the book is an allegory. It is the story of a lion cub who is raised by a lamb, and then this warrior lion finds him and then takes him on the path. And the book has really resonated with a lot of people. We were number 1 on Amazon's new releases in 5 categories. Now, a lot of those categories were within parenting, which was very surprising. So fathers are resonating with it for not only raising their sons, but being the man their daughter needs to see as a role model and an example. And it's a leadership book. It's a steward book. It's a mentoring book on how we can lead into our own lives and how we can lead others. And so, Lions Raised as Lambs, we're going to talk about getting into this library, which I think will be fantastic. Yep. But again, and anyone that wants to contact me, like I said, I am an open book. Evan has my contact. I'm on LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram and all those as Eric Rogell, EricRogell. I'm the only Eric Rogell on any of those platforms, so you can find me there. And like I said, happy to answer any questions, talk more about the book, talk more about this. So thanks for that.
You can find his links on the Eventbrite description. So if you go back to the event page on Facebook or Eventbrite, there's another link for Bold Man Adventures, which I highly encourage you checking out. And I think our men's group is going to check out. Great. As a great empowering team building exercise of exercises.
Yeah, because it's about experience, guys. Like, look, if I had just written this down, would you have had the same experience if you just read this and did this on your own? You had to sit here and experience it, right? So remember when I said back, wisdom is a deepening of your knowledge through experience. Get out and do stuff. So we have a thing that we do. I have a group, mastermind group for men, and we also do adventures. And I'm going to start doing it for couples, and women will be included in a little bit, but we do it for men right now. And we go out into nature and challenge ourselves, experience things. And we had guys on a challenge course 2 weeks ago on a Saturday. I took 8 men out. We had to do stuff like climb a 30-foot telephone pole and stand on the top of it and then jump off. You were, obviously clipped in and on belay. It's not, we're not trying to kill anybody. But the fear of going up that pole and then standing on top. We had one, you had to walk across a pole, a log, 30 feet in the air, walk about 50 feet on it, turn around, come back halfway, and then lean backwards and come down, right? And the men that were on that trip say still, to this day, weeks later, the impact that it had on them, the fact that they overcame those fears. They didn't all make it all the way to the top, but some of them, like one of them had a fear of ladders, like a death fear of ladders, because his father, when he was a kid, like pushed him off a ladder. So he actually made it all the way up to the top of the ladder and then some. And he had a shoulder injury which prevented him going the rest of the way, but he conquered that fear of ladders, and he was openly emotional about it because it was something that had been with him his whole life. So I urge you guys to get out and experience stuff. Go do some things that scare you, right? You have that king and queen statement. Live it. Go out, get out of your comfort zone. Go do something that frightens you. Go spend the night alone in a tent somewhere out in the woods. Go climb a pole. Go whitewater rafting. Go sit by a lake and meditate for a half hour. Whatever it is, go experience stuff. And that's really what that's all about. So yeah, I appreciate you mentioning that.
Some of the most beautiful things happen outside of your comfort zone. When you make a series of choices, as I recently outlined in this little book called Learning to Choose. I'm a big fan and proponent of men's work with my brother Robert here from our Conscious Weekly Men's Group, where the growth and the expansion,
Yeah,
and
sure.
the knowledge and the care and the love that's shared in these group settings. And there's groups for women, and there's groups for parents, and there's groups for the American Advertising Federation. And I like to think coming together to share these
Yeah.
insights and experiences helps us all grow, raise up together. So I'm looking forward to integrating some of these practices, exercises, and potentially the adventure into our men's work.
Sure.
And actually, brief little plug, we actually have an open house for our men's group coming up next Wednesday. If you know a man that would like some support to be around other motivated men doing the work, that are working to improve themselves, we have a group that meets weekly in Hollywood. It's one of my favorite things, also outlined in the book. And Eric also is involved in men's work and other group work.
Yeah, Bold Men Brotherhood is the name of ours. We meet virtually every Thursday on Zoom at 6 p.m., and I got men from all over the country that come to that. And guys, like Evan said, there's groups for women too, but the thing that I find, especially for men, which is why I love what these guys are doing, I always tell men, I don't care whose work you get in, just as long as you get into something. Because so many of us work alone, especially as creatives, like we'll work out of the house, work remotely, and we're siloed. We don't have conversations with people. This gives us the ability to go out and be with not only like-minded people, but for men especially. We're hearing a lot now, like a lot of the buzzwords is men's mental health. A lot of men are having some issues. Some great celebrities and athletes are coming forward and saying they're experiencing some stuff. So to be able to sit in a group in a room with other men and just really empower each other. That's really what it is. We say, in ours, it's encourage and empower. And encourage is really just encourage. Give strength, bravery to overcome those fears and things that are getting. So, again, if you know a man or a woman or anyone that needs that, form your own group. Come to one of ours. Amen. But do something.